consequences. Look, I remember back in the day, I was taught. My father, late father, by the way, said, "Listen, never let any
Yeah.
woman. Welcome back. Never let any woman hold you to ransom." And so I got in the kitchen. He said, "Look, come on, oh yeah, in the kitchen, start cooking." So for me personally, when it comes to the
There's
food
there's
thing,
someone with
no
sound
one's
on.
gonna. No, I was just saying. So when it comes to the cooking thing, listen, no one's holding me to ransom with food. It's just not happening. And I remember when we first got together, you know, the
Shola,
missus was like, "Oh,
Shola, with all due respect,
can you
with
hear
all
me?
due respect, Shola,
No,
Shola,
let me land. Let me
with all
land. Let me
due
land. Let
respect,
me land." Yeah,
if you listen, you can't catch you on dinner. Yeah, there are
I
other
know what
things. It
I
gets
know what
deeper.
you're gonna say. Let me land. Let me land with this, my brother.
Okay.
I know what
I
you're
like
saying,
that now.
but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Look, we're trying to take it step by step in the sense
Okay.
that
Okay.
because again, look. Okay, look. Let's look at things culturally. Look, we've got people in Nigeria, even us here, guys that were born and brought up here and so forth. Yeah, and have lived here for a certain amount of years. And when you look at other guys, because remember this whole man up thing, it's not just us, it's men as a whole per se. So I'm just rest dwelling for the moment on the food thing because when a man doesn't eat, the senses just start to scatter, they go all over the place. And I know the area you're talking about, so I know you're referring to the sexual aspect, yes, and I even other aspects, but I'm going in on the food aspect in the first instance that the grounding that the one was given from back then. That listen, don't don't allow that area there to be compromised, and so it never has been able to. Yes, fully and totally agree with you. Um, things can get withheld in the bedroom. Things can get withheld in terms of possibly being undermined and so forth. But you know what? Let me just lay this out there again. I think, from my personal experience again, because let's get personal, let's get real. I think that women actually like a man to man up. I think women like a man to show that he's a man. And I'm not talking about in a dominant and aggressive way. I'm just talking about from a point of view that, listen, this is how it's going to be. Yes, you may argue about it. Yes, there may be some kind of disagreement. But bottom line, right? I believe that, when you've got together, all said and done, the woman will succumb to, okay, look, I hear you. That's my own personal belief, and I'm just talking from my own personal experience. Because we could dance around this thing all day long. There's so many different caveats to it, and we still haven't gone back to the original blueprint yet. Which hopefully we're still going to go back there. But Francis, are you still around?
Yeah, still here, man. Still here. Listen, yeah.
Okay, okay. Because basically what you said earlier on when you opened up and talked about, why should it be a case of us being let or allowed to man up, to be the leader? And you're quite right. Let's go back to that. We shouldn't. There shouldn't be a case of they have the onus on letting us be anything because it's a God given role, isn't it? So how did it get relinquished? How did it get laid down?
Well, I think we, as men, we give it up. I think there's a saying that women are born with value, men have to earn it. Yeah, and I think as guys, we give too much to our women. Yeah, and ultimately we give them power over us. And as you're saying, like the whole bedroom, withholding the conjugals and all this kind of stuff. I think there's a lot of
Mm,
power play. I think women um, are weaker than men, and they know how to use their brain. They're very skilled at the whole manipulation, all this kind of stuff. And then
mm.
they know how to do it. They know how to gain that leverage, so we say. As guys, we've got two heads. One head's more powerful than the other, shall we say? Yeah, and that's the way we
Yeah.
think, man. When you get a beautiful woman, that's the way we think. That's just the way we're wired. And I think we just give it up. We give up that power to them. We give it up.
Okay, thanks for that,
I,
Francis. Somebody
I'd like
mentioned
to,
earlier on.
I'd like to add to this
Yeah, go
topic.
on. Uh-huh.
There's two parts to it, really, when I think about it. Um, One is, from my own personal experience, I've got two of my brothers who are deceased now. Um, One is married to a Nigerian. Two of them married to a Nigerian. Yeah. And I think the way your wife is trained or the culture she comes from, yeah, dictates that the man lead. And she accepts that. Now, in a Western woman, I'm married to a West Indian. Yeah. I went to university. We're equal. Yeah. Now, those kind of Western attitude breaks up marriages in the Western. That's why there's the high rate of divorce, separation in a Western world, as opposed to a third world like Africa. Because those women, like my parents, yeah, and Tony's parents, they were born in Nigeria. And they see and they've been trained, if you like, indoctrinated is a bit of a strong word, to follow the man. Let the man be a man. Let him make the decision about the kids, about the house, about where they're going to move to, financial jobs, etc. I saw that in my older brother, and I saw that with my younger brother also. But Western women, those who are born in England, have a different mindset. In a sense, I went to university, we are equal, but we are not in the, as the biblical word said, we are not equal. Yeah? Because I go out to war and die. I do the most dangerous job. And therefore, we're not equal from that sense. The things around you, television, housing, everything that has been invented are mostly by men. I'm not saying women are not. And if you try to be a man, like man up, they say you are abusing them. Yeah? But in Western women, my wife used to say to me, we're equal, but we're not equal. We've never been equal. The law in the Bible, in law of nature, we've never been equal.
That's right. That's right.
We don't have the same strength. I'm stronger. And when we argue, as if you're arguing and we're in the court of law, we're not in the court of law. And if a woman rebels against the husband, I define it as Jezebel. Yeah? And it's against. And it says in the Bible, women should obey their husband.
Yeah.
So that is the definition. And that's why there's so much breakup of marriage. And one last point I'd like to make, and the educational part. There's a study in America that says, that shows that many single women that brought up sons are more likely to turn into crime, drug dealing, going to prison. But a single man that brings up his sons are more highly, the percentage of success are higher, as if a woman isn't there. That's what the evidence shows. When the man brings up his children alone, they turn out to be great. But when a woman brings up the children, or mostly men, yeah, they're more likely to turn into crime. So we're not equal from that sense.
No, again, Joseph, can I just jump in just to reiterate what you're saying there? Again, strong points, valid points. You know, I'm just praying that what we're saying here, that it goes out and, you know, other men and women tap in and start to see that, you know what I mean? This is not a subject to be played around with. It's real. Just what you're just picking up on that bit there in terms of education for a male child, for a boy, it's absolutely crucial to have male mentoring from the off. It's not even an option. You know, it may not be. Sometimes, in some cases, okay, it may not be from the father or so, but there's got to be a male. It could be an uncle, a brother, what? You understand? There's got to be for another male child. It's absolutely imperative. Um, you know,
So,
otherwise, the male child is gonna go off the rails. Generally speaking, yeah. Go
yeah,
on. What's
sure,
that, Tony?
sure,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know Yaya's on the call, so probably we need to bring her in.
Okay.
But
Good.
but before he comes in, Joe mentioned some very interesting points there about men and women not equal. And I don't think we believe that we're equal. I think what's happened is obviously in terms, I don't think they even believe they're equal, to be honest with you. But I think what's happened is the rules of the land, yeah, have taken over the rules of people. When people start setting rules and start saying how we should behave as man and woman, that's when the problem happens. I mean, if we look at it carefully, if we look
Right.
carefully, yeah, what we're saying is, will your woman let you man up? That means really, if I look at it from another angle, it means, are you scared of your woman? Yeah. Are you scared of your woman? Because if you're scared of your woman, you're not going to be able to say some things you want to say. Yeah. And some of the things you want to say are things that will make you man up. Yeah. So, and why are you scared of your woman? Because you know that if you say X, you may get into problems. If you say Y, you may get into another problem. Yeah. If you say, and also the problem is not just in the family, it's from the authorities' point of view. Yeah. It's from the possibility that something may trigger something else off, yeah, and so on. So I think what we have to understand is, man, will your woman let you man up? Are you scared of your woman? Now, if you're scared of your woman, most people that are scared of their woman are not on this call today, yeah,
Mm.
because you'll probably
I
find
wonder
that
why.
a lot of people would love to be on this call, but they're scared to
I
say
wonder
something.
why.
they're scared to, they're scared. A lot of people are scared to man up. Listen, if you're listening to this podcast, get on this podcast, then get on this live one and man up. Yeah. So
Man
and
up.
just one last thing. Joe said something that men are stronger than women. No, that's a lie. That's a
Mhm.
lie. That's a lie. Yeah, you chose a woman that was weaker than you. Yeah, because I'm telling you one thing, you can choose a woman that's stronger than you. You won't even be able to carry her, and she'll be able to bust you up. And Joe, on a serious note, please accept our deepest
Mhm.
condolences with your
Yes.
brother and that passed away, and may his soul rest in peace. Yeah,
Mhm.
thanks. I think I'll
Thank
just hand over to
you.
you guys because you know
Yes.
me.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So nice one for that. Thank you for that. Putting that in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Tony.
Good
Thank you very
evening.
much.
Welcome, Yaya.
Good evening, all. Good evening.
Good
Sorry,
evening to you.
I was
Welcome back.
making my way home. I couldn't pick up on the way.
I thought,
Sorry.
I thought,
Well,
I thought, I
you
thought it's your
made it.
woman. I thought your woman stopped you.
No, she understands and she tolerates. We
Amen.
work together.
You
The other
spoke. Yeah. You agree. You're in agreement about this, yes?
well, no. The thing is, your
No,
woman
I'm joking. I'm
will
joking.
allow you to man up? Will
Mm.
a woman? The question is again, what is it?
Well, the phrase of it, it says, "Will your woman let you?" And Tony's mentioned that let part, and Francis mentioned it at the beginning. That what's this thing about letting? What is this letting all about? Where did that come in? Is it her place to let us man up in the first place?
I think so. I think so. I would agree. It's in the place for. It's all to do with the background. Tony just said.
Mm,
They looking at the authorities, look at social media, our
mm,
culture, religion affects the relationship between man and woman. And I'm talking about husband and wife. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah,
Yes.
yes.
It's not,
Husband and wife, well, yeah, long term, yeah.
we're talking about husband and wife. I think even when you get married, the advice that's given is that respect between the man and the woman. And that's what, for me, I agree that the woman should allow the man to man up, that to take their role as a man to advise the house, to make sure they lead as we are lead, as the last speaker just was talking about. And also, I don't agree that we are stronger than them. We have women who are very resilient, very focused, and very strong, especially in their mind to focus and doing something. There are things men can give up on, and a woman would say no. And we'll see in this with these great men, presidents and whosoever, when the woman is not around, it's different than when the woman is there helping. The thing is, for the woman to allow the man to man up is to allow the man to be the man. You allow the man to man up. You should allow the man to man up. I think if the woman does not allow the man to man up, I mean, to take their responsibility, to take their role as a man, and do not give the man the environment, the all for the man to be. There'll be issues. That's where the issues come on. But again, because of social media, because of a lot of um, uh, um, things that are happening, they're being convinced about who you are. You should not do this. You do not do that, and it's an issue. You know, who should be a good man? And a lot of men are talking about who a good man is, and women are listening a lot to that. They're not talking about how a woman should be a good woman. And I think we should look at it differently. If you look on social media, there are more men. I don't know what they are working towards or what's their agenda, but I love men looking at how will a man become a good man. Do this, do this, do this. Few women will talk about how a woman should be a good woman. Like this woman, the Reverend Funke. Funke is a Nigerian pastor, woman of God. She talks to women how they should be a good woman to a man, what they should do. Though she is a godly person, what should happen? So I think it's something that are influenced. As I said, it depends to the background, the culture, the environment, the people around them, the friends, the religion, the whatever that could allow these things to not to happen. But I do agree that women must allow the man to man up. And I just also want to bring something up, which we were talking about the last time. We were talking about man up, and we're talking about what is manning up. And there was a lot of discussions we had. But I think for me, I missed the point there. I missed the point I want to bring up. You know, I think when you're talking about manning up, it's not only using the physical or the strength, but accepting when you are wrong. When you're wrong. I say when you're wrong, accept you're wrong and do the right thing. Because if you do the wrong, that you are wrong, but you still want to because you're physically strong or you are the ending person ending, then I don't think that's manning up. That is being a coward. You're not accepting to what you've done. Yes, I did that. I'm sorry. We should accept what we've done wrong. You know, life doesn't allow us to go back and fix what we have done wrong in the past, but it does allow us to live each day better than our last day. And if the woman says that you are actually living better than before, because we are not perfect, and accept what is wrong and doing things better, it builds a stronger relationship. I think it's not that women will not let me. My wife will be listening to this, and he will be saying things in the background, but he knows that she, because from her parents, her mom, her dad will tell her, your husband is your husband. You should listen. Before you come to me, discuss with your husband and see what you agree. And when there's an agreement, there's always success. So for me, I think I always say it depends on the factors around it. And every situation is different. Every situation is different. The last two podcasts ago, somebody spoke about somebody bringing their wife or bringing a woman from Africa. They came here, they changed, you know.
Yeah.
And there's some you bring your wife and they work with you for years, and you'll go stronger and stronger. It all depends to how you meet the people around you, the friends, the just the association that you're making that will affect the relationship. To me, I think it's just a relationship, respect and believing in each other. Manning up the woman, but again, I agree that the woman must allow the man to man up. They must man up.
I just wanted to interject. Allow. You see, as I said in the earlier scenario, in the beginning of a courtship, you often take the lead. You approach her, you ask her phone number, and you go out and so forth. And then the court takes a long time, you got married and so forth. But the expectation is for you to lead the house. Yeah?
Yeah.
And to make uncomfortable decisions about which economic direction you're going to go to. Yeah? Money, education, your kids, and so forth. These are the characteristics of and right of individual men. Men obviously are not perfect. We're not a perfect human being, and we do wrong. And I'm not saying women women are only corporate in the relationship. They do wrong things. But what I'm saying is that there are challenges that men go through, especially Black men that go through, that you need to lead, you need to have direction and where you're going to go. And if your woman does not allow you to do that, you're not being a man, because you're constantly faced with challenges, tough decision, uncomfortable situation. And by taking those decisions and dealing with those uncomfortable situations, hence you're a man and you are a manning up. Yeah? By not doing that, this tough decision, what you're saying to your spouse, you're weak. Yeah? And she is, not every woman, yeah, are likely to take that as a weakness from your point of view as a husband. So you have to be strong in most situations. I just like to make one point is this. In terms of bringing up your sons and education and all of that, we have in education now, we have a softly approach. I went to school in the 70s, yeah? We did A-level and O-level, and that was hard than it is now, extremely hard, yeah? So what happened is, they didn't tell you, there's no dyslexia, dyscalculia, and even in Nigeria, there's no dyscalculia, dyslexia.
In Africa?
Yeah. Well, I don't hear it. I don't hear it. That's the circumstances. But here is an epidemic. And if you fell in Nigeria, they say, Olodo, I mean, you don't know nothing. And what I'm trying to say is this, is that you need to appreciate your failure and fail quick in order to success. And if you bring up our kids when they got a D and say, oh, you done well, good try, okay, fantastic, at least you tried. When they go out there in the industry, in the real world, and they fail, yeah, they're going to take it badly, perhaps commit suicide. Their marriage failed, perhaps commit suicide. So you yourself have to show in the family, to the boys, to the girls even, our man should behave. Because the way women behave is a learned behavior, They learn that, yeah? So you have to show your kids, your daughter, that you're able to take tough decisions, confront tough situations, and overcome them. So that when they learn from you and they go out there, they're able to do these things, yeah? And that's why man up You need to man up, and you shouldn't be in a situation where you allow your wife to man up. You know how it is to be a man.
Yeah, yeah.
Let
That's
me
good.
let me let
That's
me
good.
let me just Tony, before you come in, sorry. Let me just have these bits because there's a lot going, there's a lot being bounced around. There's loads. I mean, I'm just trying to scribble some notes so we don't forget some of them. But a few things that Joseph said there, love it. Again, he said along the lines of part of being of manning up is not allowing from our children's point of view anyway, not allowing them to have a false sense of security. So when you mentioned there about the grading, yeah, if they've done rubbish and not done too well in school and so forth, and you're being sort of mamby-pamby about it, still giving them the encouragement, but not just accepting it. Because when you do that, as you rightly said there, Joseph, they then go out into the big wide world and they think it's acceptable, and they're just going to get a rude shock. They're in for a rude awakening. Flicking back to what Hero had said earlier, I love that as well, because I think this is where a lot of the issues are coming from. I always like to, as Tony knows, when we used to do the Real Talk platform, it's always about going to the foundation of these things because there's so much outcomes, if you like. There's so many symptoms that come out from the foundational thing. Now, again, the play on this word of allow, and I know it could be there could be some sort of cultural controversy, if you like, about allowing. We should not have to allow. This is from my perspective, anyway. We should not have to allow our women to let us man up, because the way I see it, if a woman does not, or if a woman refuses then to submit to her husband's authority, right? She's snubbing God. She's snubbing her maker. If a woman, if a woman can't submit to God, she will never submit to her husband. I don't care what anybody says. If she cannot submit to her maker, she will not submit to her man. It's just not going to happen. And then that's where you're going to see the offshoot of all the other stuff coming out because it's the foundation.
Yeah.
This role is a God given role, and it should be honored and it should be respected on both sides.
Yeah.
Yes, it should be honored by us as men and know that listen, we have to stand up, we have to stand tall. As Joseph said, we need to be brave. We need to be brave in the face of adversity, right? We need to be bold. We need to have all those attributes. And then from the woman's point of view, she too needs to honor and respect that as well. So look, if we don't respect our role, why should a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you it's the case of, again, if you don't love yourself, if you don't know who you are, then why should anybody else?
I think if I should quickly interject before Tony comes in, I like the word he said, Sola, about submission. I think the thing about them allowing us to man up is the submission the woman would have to be to the man. And as you said, biblically and religiously, they have to, because even with taking a vow, that's what they are being advised. Even before the marriage, traditionally, when the woman or a group of elderly women speak to the woman, they know what they say, that you must be. See us where they are. And the men, the older men talking to the man, they tell the man how he should behave. Submitting, I think, is one thing. I think the word is a key word in terms of the woman allowing the man to man up. Even where
no, I'm just gonna say what you said there. You see, again, I think I said at the beginning, I don't think you were around, but that word submission, if you say that to a woman, listen, the whole place will go up. If you mention that word submission, they hate it. But it's not a detrimental thing. This is the thing. It's just like when we call our women, a helpmeet. That doesn't mean that the woman doesn't have her own aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? Because if she's there, look, the helper, you mentioned lovely, you mentioned about strength. You're quite right.
Yeah.
Women, they have strengths in areas that we were not designed to have that strength in. For example, a man cannot have children. And so a woman has her own aspects of strength in childbearing. Yes, and in the converse of that, a man has his strength in leading the family unit. A woman does not have that. And again, I'm not being chauvinistic. Any women that are going to listen to this and tap in, we're saying all this tonight from a very a good perspective. You know, from a righteous perspective, you know, from a perspective of it's the original blueprint.
I mean, what I wanted to say is,
So,
it
so
says,
Yeah.
men.
Joe, let me come in. Joe. Let
Go
you,
on.
let me come in, Joe, please.
Okay.
Yeah, please. Yeah, you know, one of the things is, you keep saying, allow, will they allow us, and is that why should we allow? You know what it is unfortunately, some men that have married women are not acting like men. So what's happened now is asking them to submit to that type of man is going to be a problem. And then also what you're also finding out is, with the high divorce rates that we have in the UK, especially America, you know, and usually the children stay with the woman, usually on most occasions. And also that has also changed those daughters that have been brought up by the mom alone. They have been thought that, look, man, not taught, but they just have a feeling that men don't really have much use for them anymore, because apart from helping them with regards to, having kids and stuff like that, because if you're a girl and your father hasn't been with your mum from the time you were like 7 or 8, and you're now 21, what respect do you have for a man right now? Yeah. If you have a son that's 8 or 9, and the father hasn't been around, just pops around every time there's a birthday or something like that. Yeah. Now, how are you going to behave now? Are you going to be brought up like a man, or are you going to be brought up by a woman who believes that she will show how a man should behave, how the boy should behave as a man, not like your dad? Yeah, but this is how your dad should have behaved. But a woman can never be a man. A woman can never know what it's like to be a man. Yeah, and women can try their best to train a boy to be a man, but because they've never been in a man's body, yeah, that for me does not work. So we have a massive, massive, massive problem. And if you want to know about allow, the other thing you need to understand is, find out this thing. If you want to find out whether your woman will allow you to be a man or will let you be a man or whatever word you use, do one thing. Everyone on this call, do one thing. Don't have any money, and let the woman be the one that's responsible to bring the money into the home. Yeah. Let the woman be responsible for buying the food, for paying the bills. And all you do is you stay at home and you just say, hi, darling, how's work? Let me tell you something. You will know. Now, what you will find is there'll be resentment.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you're
Of
going to
course.
find. Like,
Of course. Of
you
course.
understand? So the next thing you're going to find out is like, it's going to be like, you're going to feel that, okay. But even in that situation, by the way, when you have no money, the woman should let you man up. So what should
Exactly.
really happen? What should really happen is the woman should go to work and then say, "Darling, here's the money. I want it to be seen that you're the man. So if you can just pay
That's
the
right.
bills, pay this, and
Yeah.
that. Listen, try that today.
Yeah.
Try that
Yeah.
today. I
That
know. I
that
know.
Look,
Yeah.
Tony, sorry, one sec. Can I just jump in? Can I just jump in, guys? Because look, I want us to be so real. We've got to be real because
yeah.
we don't want to just be giving scenarios. Let's talk on it. Look, that case you just mentioned there, Tony. I put my hands up. I've been there in my lifetime. I've been there in the 24 years, 25 years that I've been married. Yes, and my wife has stood up. And yes, there's been friction. There's been thing, but you see, we used the word a couple of weeks ago, the word understanding. Yes. And because she understood that I know what my purpose is, she was able to back up when there was lack. Because she knows then that when there's plenty, she knows that then I will revert back to type and be the provider. And that's what a relationship is supposed to be about. Look, it's not, you see, what we've done is, as I said, you see, again, it goes back to the thing of when we don't know ourselves. Look, social media, as someone has already said tonight, society, the system, you know, it's just one second. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me land. Because I'm gonna lose my train. I'm gonna lose my train of thought, man. I'm gonna lose my train of oh,
Yeah.
wait. Look, right? It's a case of, look, if you're married, or you see, remember, we're taking, there are two aspects. If you're just cohabiting, the same kind of respect and the same kind of attributes that we're talking about tonight, they can't happen. They won't happen. But if you're married and you're holding on to these vows and it's a covenant you've gone into, you know, these things, there's going to be, I'm not saying there's not going to be friction, there's not going to be, you know, a bit of railing up or whatever. Of course there will be. But the key thing is going back to that word of understanding. It's the understanding of the situation, the understanding of your partner. Hero mentioned right at the beginning of the call that, you know, when he was about to settle down, there was a template, a kind of unofficial template, if you like, laid out. So the woman, your wife, knows what to expect to a degree. Having said that, many, many different things can happen within that relationship. But if there's a template, if there's a blueprint already there, you understand? When that kind of demise or whatever situation does come up, we can say, okay, you know what? We have to allow for that area, you know, and then we come through. We come through together based on understanding.